28th meeting of the St. Joseph County Board of Commissioners to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first item on the agenda, opening and reading of bids. The next item is reports and requests. First item is the accounts payable docket. Is there a motion?
Motion to pass.
Second.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote? Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Castelny, how do you vote?
Aye. We are tabling the Citizen of the Month for May. Coach Gumpf could not be here. Well, hopefully be the second meeting in July. We'll give that award out. Next up, approval of stipulation of dismissal of Carico versus Board of Commissioners. Counselor.
An opportunity to speak with our outside counsel. Based on the facts of the case, he made the recommendation that we resolve this matter. After a little back and forth with plaintiff's counsel, they came to a resolution, and I would recommend settling this matter at this time.
Any questions or comments from the board? Is there a motion?
A motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you
Aye.
vote? Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Castelny, how do you vote?
Aye. Motion passes. Next, approval of New Era Technology renewal contract. Who is? Frank is not. Frank is on the call. I don't know if he is able to speak to this, Mr. Fotia. All right. So this is a contract renewal with New Era Advantage Service Support for different technical and on-site support for our New Era technology that we have. Any questions or comments? Is there a motion?
A motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote? Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Castelny, how do you vote?
Aye. Motion passes. Next, approval of agreement for professional services for the PSAP remodel with BLC.
I'll address that, Commissioner Pete Augustino, attorney at law, 131 South Taylor Street. So this is a contract to hire DLZ to perform architectural and engineering consulting services in connection with some remodeling at the PSAP Center. There is a change that needs to be made in the agreement, and that is the elimination of paragraph 14. I've simply struck that paragraph out and asked you to initial that or approve this agreement subject to striking out paragraph 14 from the standard terms and conditions.
That is exhibit D.
So I just have a question about, so what we're doing then is DLZ is going to remodel the PSAP area.
Well, so they're gonna do some plans and specifications for it. They're estimating that the cost for the remodel will be $375, but that's not set in stone. That's going to depend on what ultimately is the final plans. Once that's done, they're setting out a schedule for their fees, which is their standard schedule for fees and services.
So will they let us know what their plan is and then?
Well, yeah, they're gonna have involvement with PSAP and the Board of Commissioners. They'll be reporting back
Okay,
as the
good.
process goes. And I think they've had already 5 or 6 meetings.
Love to update it, make it good. Yay.
Yeah, tentatively, they're just doing some add-ons in the building, but the new director would like to see some upgrades, lockers, think extra restrooms, and that type of stuff. And according to our financial advisor, Mr. Dalton, that is already in their budget. So if there's any other things that need to come back, we'll go to the, yes, I'll send the council for that. But I think according to the new director, that's some things that they need to do, and I think it'll increase the efficiency of the workers there.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second. Commissioner Dieter, how do you
Aye.
vote? Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Commissioner Castelny will be abstaining.
You abstaining?
And any striking and signature should be done by Vice President Fleming.
Excellent. All right, moving on to infrastructure planning and growth, the consent agenda. We'll note there's a special event request for July 1st Friday's fireworks on Jefferson Bridge. Any questions or comments?
Is there, is Parks called? Is there any other problems anymore with, I think, the structural integrity of the bridges or something like that?
They provided this last year. We did a study through DLZ, did a model of the bridge and found that with the pyrotechnics involved, there was no issues.
Okay. And then I thought I spoke with Aaron Perry. Apparently there may be other functions that they will contact, and he said that they would take care of the overtime, whatever studies it needs, that all.
Yes.
Good, okay, good. So the city and county working together, Mr. Augustino, for a common good.
That's wonderful. That's,
Are we gonna be able to drive our cars down across?
Not
that?
by the
No, they'll be
I
closed.
know, that's what I was wondering,
It'll be
so,
closed.
oh, I know, because that's where close to where I used to live and do that,
Yeah,
yeah,
the ballistic.
so, okay.
Move for approval.
That sounds great,
President
Motion.
Castelli.
oh, yeah.
Second.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
All right.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Hi,
Commissioner Castelny, how do you vote?
Aye. Motion passes. Next item, bid request for RNS 92202D mainline maintenance asphalt overlay.
Andrew Hayes with the Department of Infrastructure Planning and Growth Project Manager. We have selected a few additional roads, about approximately 11 miles that we would like to get a quote for paving. These roads were selected through highway garages, supervisors, and their suggestions on roads they've been spending a lot of time on maintenance wise and materials. And they drastically need this attention.
Any questions or comments for Andrew?
Are these spread throughout the county or one?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
I think we have a few in the northwest section.
It's not my
Majority
district anymore, so my roads are in the city, so we're all good.
that's what I thought it said, that we're gonna be an advertisement for bids.
Yes.
Yes, that's what, yeah, okay, good, yay.
Any other comments? Echoes? Cheers. If not, is there a motion?
Motion to approve,
Second.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote? Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
aye,
Commissioner Castelny, how do you vote?
Aye. Motion passes. Next, approval of change orders 3 and 4 contract R37496 edit travel lanes and bridge replacement on Douglas Road and Ironwood Road at various locations.
In this project, City of South Bend has requested some additional materials to form a loop in their water main system. The 20% not covered by the Federal Highway Association will be reimbursed through the City of South Bend for change order 3. Change order 4, the original traffic control system had two separate devices for the intersections, one at Carmichael, one at Ironwood. We would like to replace them with similar systems that will communicate with each other, not only traffic wise, but also pedestrian traffic, and coordinate between the two intersections accordingly.
Any questions, or comments from the board? Is there a motion?
motion to approve,
Second.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote? Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
aye,
Commissioner Castelny, how do you vote?
Aye. Thank you, sir. Motion passes. Moving on to old business. There is none. Brings us to public comments. We'll start with our friends here in the room.
Dan Caruso, 305 Compton Street, New Carlisle. I'm here surprised to address a couple of burning issues in my mind in the IEC. On July 12th, I believe the Redevelopment Commission will be opening bids on the land at State Road 2 and Willow. And according to Bill Shalio, he's not expecting there to be any bidders. I find this I feel we're doing things in the wrong order here. We've got Abby Wiles, Marcy Kaufman, Will Miller, a number of people working on putting together a new comprehensive work plan, land use plan for the county, which included this area. I spoke to a member of Economic Development after the last commissioners meeting, and he indicated, I said, why are we having Abby put together this plan and now putting out bids for people saying, do you want to bring your business here, without them really knowing what's allowed to come there? I'm saying you have to have the rules in place and then offer it for bid with the successful bidders, knowing what they're allowed to bring there. Right. And I was told by this member of Economic Development that the plans had to proceed forward together, and that it could be 18 months before the comp plan is ready. And in the meantime, business is moving forward. Well, that's unfortunate that maybe we're missing some leads that would want to come in there. We haven't had any in about 5 years. I don't know why all of a sudden they start popping up now. I think it's that any land use, any land acquisition, land sale issues in the county should be tabled until we have a current and reflective of today's environment comprehensive land use plan from Abby and her team. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Deborah.
Thank you. Deborah Durrell, 21677 Auten Road, South Bend. Good morning, beautiful morning in St. Joseph County. I'd like to read some excerpts from the book Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer, who is a member of the Potawatomi Nation. The Sky Woman's story, shared by the original peoples throughout the Great Lakes, is a constant star in the constellation of teachings we call the original instructions. These are not instructions like commandments, though, or rules. Rather, they are like a compass. They provide an orientation, but not a map. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:35 a.m., I am usually in a lecture hall at the university, expounding about botany and ecology, trying in short to explain to my students how Sky Woman's Gardens, known by some as global ecosystems, function. One otherwise unremarkable morning, I gave the students in my general ecology class a survey. Among other things, they were asked to rate their understanding of the negative interactions between humans and the environment. Nearly every one of the 200 students said confidently that humans and nature are a bad mix. These were third-year students who had selected a career in environmental protection, so the response was, in a way, not very surprising. They were well schooled in the mechanics of climate change, toxins in the land and water, and the crisis of habitat loss. Later in the survey, they were asked to rate their knowledge of positive interactions between people and land. The median response was none. I was stunned. How is it possible that in 20 years of education, they cannot think of any beneficial relationships between people and the environment? Perhaps the negative examples they see every day, brownfields, factory farms, suburban sprawl, truncated their ability to see some good between humans and the earth. As the land becomes impoverished, so too does the scope of their vision. When we talked about this after class, I realized that they could not even imagine what beneficial relations between their species and others might look like. How can we begin to move toward ecological and cultural sustainability if we cannot even imagine what the path feels like? I feel this expresses and some of the things we are grappling with.
Thank you. Any other comments from the room before we turn to our friends on Zoom?
Peter Augustino, 21515 Upton Court, South Bend, Indiana. Reminding everyone that the U in UFO stands for unidentified. And speaking of UFOs, July 1 to 3, the Roswell UFO Festival is occurring in New Mexico and marks the 75th anniversary. I'm just sharing that information for those of you who are interested in UFOs. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. truth is out there, Eric. All right, anyone else from the room? Move on to Cheryl on Zoom.
You're on mute, Cheryl.
You do unmute.
So I'm sorry. My name is Cheryl Nix. I live at 17901 Sable Ridge Drive. And in South Bend, 46635. I actually live outside the city limits in Clay Township. I just wanted to reiterate what Mr. Crusoe said. I think if there's a plan, which I found to be a great idea, the comprehensive land use plan, I think that needs to be in place before any businesses are invited into the IEC. So I just wanted to agree with Mr. Crusoe and ask that the commissioners delay any putting out any bids for sale. Thank you.
Thank you. Pam, floor is yours.
Hello, commissioners. Thank you so much. I totally agree with Dan Caruso. Whenever you have a project, you got to have a plan before you do anything. The IEC has been hobble gobble, and we need to have a plan before we take any action. I can't tell you how strongly I feel about that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pam. I appreciate your technical description of hobble gobble as well. That was delightful. Anyone else on Zoom or in the room? I just will quickly point out from an IEC standpoint, we identified there were some shortcomings in the current comprehensive plan, which would have been great had it been done a number of years ago, but it wasn't. So I appreciate Abby's leadership in making that happen. But we also worked then very closely with Olive Township, the town of New Carlisle, to set some more strict parameters on development in that core development area and even outside there, because we wanted to address some of the concerns that were brought up. So we did that. So that was kind of that was the gap that we knew we were going to have between when our new comprehensive plan was done, but we did, clean things up considerably in the event that development were happening before the comprehensive plan was done. All right, motion to recess is in order.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote? Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Castelny, how do you vote?
Aye, we are recessed.